सर्वम् यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तं देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशम् मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या संप्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितः प्रज्ञानघनः प्रत्यगर्थो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। वेदान्तार्थविभासकाय गुरवे शान्ताय सन्न्यासिने नानावादि नगेन्द्रसंगपवये योगीन्द्रवन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्तदिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधाम् बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। As we know, it is very important that the person's mind stays collected. A preoccupied mind, a mind that is scattered, a mind that is anxious, is not going to serve as a good instrument to generate knowledge. Therefore, we require a mind which is no longer chasing objects outside. We require a mind which is no longer prejudiced, biased with the idea of chasing pleasant stranger experiences. All that we require is a mind which is free from all these preoccupations and is available, endowed with the pramana only to function. In order to set the mind free from our preoccupations, its preoccupations, one needs to look a little closely as what is it engaged with. In general, the mind is bound to dwell on those people, concepts, ideas, objects, which is demanding some experience of joy or a pleasant experience from those objects, etc. Therefore, in the very beginning, if a person looks closely at those objects and things with which he is seemingly preoccupied, he is bound to discover the other side of those objects and things. And invariably, invariably, those objects will also have certain drawbacks which this person had failed to notice when he was so infatuated with it. Now, when he is able to see the other side too, the person will have a better evaluation as how much he should keep himself engaged with those objects, people, things. The degree of freedom that one discovers the degree of freedom not to be preoccupied with these objects, people, things, ideas, situations, is your strength when it comes to meditation. This is one's strength. In our classical language, we are going to call this strength, this power, as vairagya. In the very beginning, the person strives for it. That's when a person, and his strive, his efforts to gain this power, this capacity, is sincere. It is not meant for any display. And therefore, this sincere, honest attempt is extremely important. Do not, to wait for people to approve or to display this capacity to people has got a very, very less value, no value at all. In fact, no value. Therefore, It is totally for yourself. Please understand whether you meditate or do not meditate makes very little difference to the world of people. Well, it may make a little difference because, very little, because slowly and steadily, the person is emerging as a stable, peaceful person. A very mature person. And therefore, externally, the people are not worried about whether this is a result of your maturity, meditation, or you being spiritual or anything. To them, well, this person is peaceful or has become peaceful, doesn't become irritated that easily, does not become anxious very easily, is what they may notice. Perhaps they may even appreciate it. And really speaking, people around you everywhere are so preoccupied with their own private lives, with their own problems, that they may not even notice that. And therefore, don't expect that, this is something that people would appreciate or should appreciate, should approve. There is no need. But remember, this is the fuel on which your engine of meditation should run. Attempt, a sincere attempt. And there is not just one. So don't think that by just once having done it, the job gets finished. It is a continuous process. In the next step, the person evaluates as how much he is able to make himself free and how much more he needs to still strive. Furthermore, now externally, the person may not be involved or may not have activities to chase those objects and things and people externally, those activities, because an external activity is generated by the desire when the desire is strong enough to create that activity or an action in the organs of action. Externally, it is not happening. But internally, there seems to be some lingering demand. And therefore, now the person understands that if he is not going to pay attention to this aspect, this lingering demand can grow enormous and once again become stronger than before. So even with this lingering demand, one will have to be very careful. And in the final stage, but this is not the absolute final over here, as much as it is required for one to enter into the realm of meditation, we can say that yes, when there is absolutely no demand at all. This particular stage of our understanding maturity, Bhagavan Patanjali calls as Vashikara Samshya Vairagya. Drishtanushravika Vishaya Vitrashnasya Vashikara Samshya Vairagya. Drishta means objects which are seen, experienced, or can be experienced here in this world, is drishta. Anushravika means talking about those objects or things which belong to some celestial world according to the Puranas or certain scriptures over here. No demand even for that. Because the person knows that even these things, all these things, drishta and anushravika, have inherent defect of later on becoming the source of dukkha. And hence, now when there is no demand, zero demand from inside, the person has indeed gained access to that state of samadhi where now he is able to clearly see, he or she does not matter. The person is able to see very clearly that the meaning of this I is no longer an experiencer, but this I gains the status as an experiencer only when associated with the conditioning of the indriyas and the mind. Every concept, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm beautiful, I'm ugly, I'm holy, I'm profane, all these ideas are simply concepts. I am the reality, but these are concepts. And therefore, when a person takes this concept as reality, he is living conceptual life, taking them to be real. He is living a dream life. Thus, when a person is able to reject all this, when you will be able to reject all the concepts surrounding you, the concept even of being the experiencer, being the doer, the experiencer, can also be shrugged off. So now the person discovers that the meaning of this I is just consciousness which illumines the presence and absence of the subtle world of the gross world. Both illumines the subtle and the gross. The subtle world of concepts, the subtle world of being the experiencer, the subtle world of the concept that I am the doer, I am the experiencer, will will start falling loose. And as much as it becomes loose, even the idea that I am a particular shape, I am a man, I am this gross body, also becomes loose. To discover oneself as pure consciousness, solid pillar of consciousness, not the body or not the ego, is arriving at the meaning of the word Tvam. Now, we all know certain basic things about the posture. When it comes to the practice of meditation, how one requires the breath also to be little settled. These are all aspects which have been repeatedly discussed. Therefore, now, when you are seated, your backbone is erect. Whenever you feel that the backbone, the spine is slumping, gently lift it. Nothing wrong about it. Just gently lift it. Even not with a jerk. Even during the session of meditation, when you find that the posture is, the body is losing the alertness, the posture, just gently lift it with the shoulders pulled a little behind so that the chest comes out. The lungs are held straight so that the lungs are able to accommodate more air to the full capacity. And another sign that your posture has become proper is that you will discover that the navel navi will be pulled a little inside. Naturally, as a result of the proper posture. The navel, as if getting pulled inside, is called as Uddiyana Bandha. So there are these three locks. The lock at the anus is called as Moola Bandha. So the anus also, when is pulled as if, getting locked, is called as the Moola Bandha. The navel getting pulled inside as if it is locking something, closing, is called as the Uddiyana Bandha. And then with the chin going down, it is said that it can touch the cavity over here. And then there is Jalandhara Bandha. So presently we don't require Jalandhara Bandha. If the body goes into the good posture of being erect, the lungs open to the capacity, the shoulders drawn a little behind, you don't have to do all that. Okay? Just a little behind. Because that will mean that, the chest is lifted and projected out. And the diaphragm now is able to inflate and deflate properly. As a result, the navel area from behind, from inside, as if closes. This then is your Uddiyana Bandha. You can take this as an indication of the correct posture. Any of these bandhas are if they happen naturally, they are an indication of good posture. Give little time, energy to it. Then your hands, the fingers can be interlocked and kept in your, lap in front of you. Or the hands can be open and be resting on the respective knees. The left hand on the left knee, the right hand on the right knee. In both the postures, in both the cases, we still are able to retain the alertness. And whenever you feel that, do not become stiff or anything. There's no need. Don't become stiff. Because becoming stiff means still. The body is something that keeps you engaged. We will soon have to transcend the body. So therefore, the posture, the asana, the place, asana means the kind of seat that you are using, the area in which you are seated, all these things also have to be taken into consideration. And therefore it is said that one should be seated in a place which is naturally quiet and pavitra. Be it temple, be it the bank of Mahanadi, or if it is in your house, it should be somewhere, something which is which can be regarded as sacred. Now, when it comes to the practice of samadhi, one should not do it in the posture of Jalandhara, because the head should be held in same line as the neck and the back, which means all the head, the neck, and the back, all these 3 points, more or less, they should be in a single line. Just now, if you are seated properly, now with the sankalpa meaning a resolution that the body is going to be making least movements, whether it comes to the tips of your fingers or tips of your toes or any other movement which is not required. And if the movement to raise the body again is required, yes, well, do it. But beyond that, let us keep it almost eliminated. Even the movement of the tongue to play with the teeth inside, or the movement of your foreheads and eyebrows, etc., that is not required. The eyelids are falling very gently on the lower eyelids. Upper eyelids are falling gently, not tight and all. It is just falling gently, like a feather descending on the ground. So with that much about the physical posture, the resolution is that one is not going to make any movements till the end of the session. And during this time, give a little energy, thought, to observe the breath. If it is going to be heavy in the beginning, let it be. Do not force struggle anywhere. Let the body and mind both relax. Relax not to the point of falling to sleep. Relax to the point of being alert, but not stiff and uncomfortable. Just observe the breath. Filling the lungs to the full capacity in the beginning, and later on, the body has its own intelligence to take care of how much is required and how much can be released for the metabolism in the present stage. Thus, you will observe that the breath becomes lighter, and now you are ready to dwell and shed all the concepts surrounding I. Aradhana, my request is to put an alarm, set an alarm till for, I suppose, for another 20 minutes, next 20 minutes.
Okay, Swamiji.
पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Thank you all.